Hi guys, here we are back again and expanding on the first steampunk cog design and adding a gear, and we're in Affinity Designer. I'm doing this on the iPad, but it's equally doable on the desktop, of course. So let's continue on. So we have the cog, but let's expand on that and put it inside a large revolving tooth gear wheel. But we need those teeth to be on the inside of the circle this time. So create a 200mm circle and centre it with the cog inside. Turn off the cog group for now so it doesn't get in your way. I'm assuming you've already done the cog project, but if you haven't, there's your opportunity. Next we need to create the shape we're going to duplicate around the circle, and this shape will become the teeth of our gear wheel. Begin with a tooth that is 8mm by 14mm and the top of the tooth rounded to 10 pixels. Flip the tooth and make sure it's centred accurately. We're going to replicate the tooth around the circumference. Remember, select the trapezoid shape from the Shape tool. Now we select the Corner tool from the toolbar. The shape will now show a circle on each corner point. Select the top left point first. In the Context toolbar, set the corner type to rounded and the radius to 4mm. You can experiment with that. It's 4. I actually set it with 10 and it gives quite a sharp corner, but 4 is fine. It's entirely up to you. Repeat the rounded corner process for the right top corner. Next, reposition the tooth so it's centred just on the circle. Place it on the line, then in the Transform Studio, flip it vertically. Flip the tooth and make sure it's centred accurately again. We're going to replicate the tooth around the circumference. Next, we need to change the rotation point of the shape, so it will rotate around the circle and not around itself. So set the crosshair rotation point to on in the Context toolbar. A blue circle will appear around it and a small crosshair will appear in the shape. As we want the rotation point to be the centre of our main circle, drag the small crosshair point down to the centre of the circle. You'll see the red and green lines appear when you reach the centre point. The shape will now rotate around the centre of the circle. We now need to duplicate the shape and the teeth in our gear. We'll duplicate it all the way around the circle. Now be careful with this part because if you mess it up you have to start again. Select Duplicate from the Edit menu and we will move the duplicate by a precise amount set in the Transform Studio. Now you have the tooth duplicated once now, but of course it sits in the same place and we need to move it. And you can see it there. We can set the precise number of moves by telling Designer how many objects we want around the 360 degrees of the circle. Here we want 32 teeth in our gear. That's the ratio of 16 on the cog to 32 on the gear, which is 2 to 1. So in the rotation dialog, type in 360 divided by 32, and you can see it there. Tap OK. Now oddly enough, the first tooth appears down the bottom, so don't think it hasn't appeared. Look for it, it's on the circle there somewhere. The teeth will appear on the circle. Now just keep hitting Edit Duplicate, Edit Duplicate, Edit Duplicate until you've got all 31 teeth. Remember you've started with one tooth, so you only need to do this 31 times, not 32. Remember, you started with one. And you can see there I've got a number of teeth in place around the circle already. So repeated 32 times and all teeth are in place. Don't make a mistake or you'll have to start all over again, which is a real pain. And all you can do is delete all your layers, all your curves, and start the process again. If there's a quicker way, I haven't found it. So, as for the small cog, select all the teeth curves layer and merge layers in the edit menu. So you have to merge all of the teeth into one layer. Make sure they're all selected, then select merge curves. We now need to drag the rusty background into the layer as a mask. So you've got all your teeth, they're all merged together, and you've got them in a nice little group. Drag the rusty background into the layer to use it as a mask in the normal manner. So you can see the teeth are now the rusty colour. And I've got a slight border set around those teeth, around the bottom of the teeth. That's actually the edge of the circle. Now we're looking better, but hey, the small cog is being driven by the larger one, or the other way around if you like. So we need to engage the gears. And you do this by moving the smaller cog towards the bigger one. You can see the two gear layers in the layers panel. And I've got them named there, 32 teeth and the small cog 16 teeth. Select the small cog group layer and using the Transform Studio, move it across to the left on the X-axis to engage the gears. Be careful doing that, you don't have to move it very much. Line those gears up, you can move it around a little bit to line the gears up so that they look like they may just be doing the job. And the last thing is to give the outer gear a bit of solidarity. It's only a thin line at the moment, so I've used a donut shape for this. Drag out a donut shape that fits around the bottom of all the teeth and drag the rusty background into it as a mask, so it's the same colour as the rest of the cogs and gears. And you can see there, you've still only got a couple of layers. A lot of design work there for a couple of layers. It's very neat. Your very own steampunk cog with gear driver. All the colours are in place, and if you've got a transparent background on that, you're in front. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the thumbs up to like the video. I really appreciate it.